Welcome to ProPractice, your guide to refine, enliven, and illuminate the piano repertoire. I'm Josh Wright, and today's lesson is für Elise by Beethoven. ProPractice is a series designed to help you become as efficient as possible with practice. I'm going to give you tips on technique, musicality, interpretation, expression, as well as various exercises to master each of those things. Let's start right in the first line here, and I just want to say one thing. Always try to buy an Urtext edition, which means original text, or it's the most pure edition. It's the closest thing to the composer's original writing, aside from the original manuscript that they have. So it's important to get an edition that's not all edited up, because then you don't know whether it's Beethoven or your editor that is marking those things. So this is an Urtext edition, and right away we see pianissimo. So So pianissimo, I think you always want to figure out how to average out your dynamics. You want to say, okay, pianissimo, I'm not just going to play everything soft, because then the music has no life. You still have to breathe in the phrasing and the expression. So maybe on this first part, let's just go a little crescendo to that E, and then resolve down to the A. And let's listen how that kind of inhales and exhales. And similarly, we're in the key of A minor. We're in 3/8 time. We're going to go over counting in a minute. But let's just think. We're in A minor. So this first part is imitating a 5 chord. And then it goes to the 1 chord. So anytime you have those 5 chords, or the E major chords, this, or those can be little points of tension, because whether you know this or not, doesn't matter this instant, but I want you to gradually learn these things. This, in A minor, an A minor chord is called a tonic chord, or a 1 chord, and an E major chord is a dominant chord. And dominant chords, that's just a title for it. Dominant is just the 5th chord in that scale, and what it does is it provides a little bit of tension. So when you see those, you don't have to do this every time, but you can have that be a little bit bigger. So let me show you. And maybe I don't love that. Let's try that again. A little more on my dominant, and then less. So let's try that again. Especially since I have a repeat coming up. Okay? Let's talk a little bit about the time signature before we move on. 3/8 time, what does that mean? The top number always means how many counts you get per bar, or per measure. In America, we call them measures. I know in Europe, some of my European students call them bars. You can use those interchangeably. So, three beats per bar, and the bottom 8 means an 8th note gets 1 beat. Okay, so we will basically have 3 8th notes. Now, a 16th note is half the value of an 8th note. So you could get 2 16th notes per beat. And sure enough, we start with a pickup bar, which means a little partial bar, which is just these first 2 notes, and we would count that 3 and, because it's like we're at the end of a bar. Okay, so it's 3 and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Let's try that. Try that with me really slowly. Count out loud once with the video, then rewind it and try playing it with me. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. A little bigger there. And 3 and 1 and 2 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 and 3 and 1 and 2. Okay? That takes us through the first little part. Let's move on to the next part. By the way, on your repeat, you can do dynamics differently. So maybe the second part, the second time. saw that I didn't do such small phrasing. The second time I kind of thought of the first 1, 2, 3, 4 bars as being a little bit bigger, a little bit meatier, and then the next 4 bars resolving down to the cadence being much smaller. So always look for new ideas for your repeats. Okay, next idea, next section. Thank you so much for watching. As with all ProPractice videos, the first section is free. If you'd like to view the rest of this video, or if you're interested in learning more about ProPractice, just click on the link on this screen or on the link in the comments section below. Thank you for your support of ProPractice.